Today I'm going to show you how to crochet the Tartan Clan Lamont blanket, and I've chosen a heavyweight yarn for this because I want mine to be durable and tight in texture, but you can choose anything you like. And I have chosen the weathered look or look-alike. It's not quite the same, but these are the yarn colors that I will be using. This is camel. I'm using the ice yarns in the Draylon for needle size 5 millimeters, knitting needle size 5 millimeters. It's 200 grams to a skein, and it's 330 meters. You will need a lot of this. Then the next color is the dark gray, so camel, dark gray, black and white. These are the colors that are closest to the original. I chose the camel instead of the dark camel. You can get a dark camel, but I thought that was maybe a bit too dark, so I went for the light camel. So these are the colors that I am choosing. The whole crochet blanket will be done in a split half double crochet, and I see this ball has been started on the outside, so I'll be taking the outside, and the size of it is going to be very large, as in 2 repeats of the tartan will be a large double size bedspread size, or you can choose to do 3 repeats, which is then a super king size. So I think I will go for video purpose large double, as in 2 repeats. However, I will maybe think about doing another one and then sewing them up together, or well, sewing them up together, not exactly crocheting them together in a special way. So that I have the possibility of either choosing to use it as just one large double, or then to do super king size. Right, so the tartan, I've already gone through the tartan colors with you. So now we need to know the main stitch, as I said, a split half double crochet, but first of all you will need to chain for the large size 449 chains in total. How did I work this out? Well, simply you will need, for the whole pattern, you will need 112 half double crochets. Then you've got the chain spaces. Then you've got to add that 2 times. So if you're making a double repeat, so 1 repeat is 223 chains plus 3 for the half double crochet chain. Then if you have a double repeat, that is 446 chains plus 3, which is 449. Or if you want to go super size, then that's 669 chains plus 3, which is a total of 672 chains. But I am all sure you know how to do a chain. First you make a slip knot. Right, and you start. Let me just move the camera. Let's move it this way. Maybe you can see that. I hope I haven't made you too dizzy doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm not sure whether I told you the hook size. I'm using a 6mm hook. This is made for 5mm knitting needles. You ought to go up 2 sizes. However, I want mine rather tight, so I only went up 1 size in hook size. But you can choose to use whichever hook you like. You do need a bit of space though, so don't go 5mm. That is too tight because you will not get the tartan look. It'll look funny. So choose either a 6 or above for a 5mm. If you choose a completely different yarn weight, then general rule is choose 2 hook sizes larger than it says on the ball tab, on the yarn tab. That's how I generally do this one. So I have now, what did I say, 2 repeats, so that I have 449 chains to go. I will meet you after I've done 449 chains. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. So that's 449 chains. So you can see it's super long. And this is almost, as you can see, the hardest part, because don't lose concentration. Don't lose concentration when you do that many chains. So the first part of the blanket, or the start of the blanket, is very easy. It's all half double crochet. So our actual stitch count is 446 for 2 repeats of the tartan. And so we have 449, which is 3 more. So 1, 2, 3 in the first. In the 4th stitch, go in with your hook for 4th chain, not stitch, and do a half double crochet. And in each stitch after that, a half double half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. So skip the next chain, in that chain another half double crochet, chain 1, skip the next chain, half double crochet. And at this point it is a bit wobbly because the chains are very loose, everything is very loose, but it'll soon be easier to do this. So I'll be back with you after I've done my 449s. Right, I just want to reiterate quickly what we're doing here, and I'll zoom in a little bit. Right, what we're doing here is a half double crochet, chain 1, skip the next chain into the following, half double crochet, chain 1. Now I just have one tip as well. If you think you have lost count in the middle of your chain, my tip is this: do a few more, because with crochet it is easy to adjust after you have done the first row. So from that point of view, if you're not sure, just do a few more. Okay, you will lose that yarn in the end because we'll have to cut it off. However, if it's rather to be on the safe side, it messes up the pattern if you have too few. If you don't have enough stitches, that'll mess it up. However, if you have too many, that is easy to adjust. I just wanted to put that tip in between, because I know I sometimes miscount as well. So we have done all our half double crochets. So we have our very long row of half double crochets. We've come to the end and I've chained one, and now the actual work starts. Is we're going to do a half split double crochet. Now this might be a bit tricky on the very first one. So what you're looking for is you're looking for the middle of the stitch down below, and you're pulling your half double crochet through that. Now, as I said, it is a bit tricky on the first one, so what I'll do is I will actually change the camera so that you can now see what I am doing. So I'll do my loop, and you see here it's very loose because it's not really a double crochet, half double crochet down here. So we go into the very bottom, and it's a bit tricky. Go into the bottom, bring up your loop. So I've brought it in right here. I hope you can see that. I'll show you a bit closer. So I've brought it in here and looped it up here. Do your half double crochet, your split half double crochet, chain one. Now you do the same again. So now here's your next one. You see these two little splits? You go into there. Pull your loop through. Can be tricky at first. Pull it right through, chain one. And you do this all the way, the whole row. Once again, bring it through, chain one. Let's try a different angle. Okay, I'm on a different angle. So you see, here's your stitch. Here are the two feet of your former half double crochet. You're going to go right here into the middle here. So you loop round, you go in between both, pull through, and that's a half split double crochet, chain one. Next, go in between the two legs. That's all there is to it, half split double crochet. So the stitch itself is very easy. Hope you can see this. Hope I'm holding this still enough for you. Once again, chain one. Let's zoom in a little bit. Zoom in a little bit. We're looking here at these two little legs here of our half double crochet before. We go in there, bring the loop up, chain one, next one, through, and as I've got the camera in front of me, I can't really see what I'm doing, so this is all by feel rather than see. There we go. There we go. Once more. Through the middle. Pull it through. And we do this till we get to the end of the row. Once we're at the end of the row, we will chain one and do this for a total of 10 rows in the same color. We are still in the camel color, and we do this for 10 rows. So this is now my second row. So we did the first row, which was half double crochets. The second row was the split half double crochets. I've chained one. I turn around. Oh, and by the way, if you've made the double size, then you should have 224 of these split half double crochets. So if you have too many, then just leave it, leave a few out at the end, and then you'll have to cut that bit. If you have too little, then you'll have to, on this row, if you have too little, then you'll have to increase on this side. Best if it's not too many increases, because you'll notice if you've done one or two, then you can do one increase here into the next loop or the loop after, and then maybe one in the middle and one at the end again. But if it's more than 3 increases, it'll be very noticeable. So I think it's best just to double check. Right, so now we're on row 3. It's exactly the same again. Row 3, just go into the 2 split legs and half double crochet, chain 1. Change the camera vision again. Sorry for this, might be a bit might be very wobbly. I've got to get, oh, I'm awfully sorry. This is really not ideal. So here we go again. See, now you see here the 2 legs of the former half double crochet go into that. The first 2 rows are normally the most difficult ones. After that it gets easier, because you get also more fabric to hold on to. Another tip I give you is try not to choose a yarn that splits a lot. It'll make things a lot more difficult. And not too soft either. Use a heavyweight yarn or wool. Anything that's Aran or upwards is what the preference would be. I chose this one on, well, it is sort of a lightweight Aran, because I wanted it to be a bit more flexible, because I'll be draping this over a chair rather than on a bed, and I want it to be heavy duty because this chair gets used a lot, gets sat on and wriggled on and so on. That is why I chose the yarn that I have. It's super easy washable and heavyweight, antibacterial, and it's a bit softer for the drape, but the stiffer generally the yarn is, the better. The pattern itself, I think, looks better if you have a minimum of 2 repeats, and that is why I also gave you the formula in the beginning of the video, is how to work out how many stitches you want, because you can use any weight yarn really. So if you just want to make a baby blanket, that's fine too. Then you use very lightweight baby soft yarn. That's fine. It'll just be a tiny bit harder to work. Oops, sometimes these are... That's another tip I've noticed. I have also how shall I say, made these stitches a bit tight. Then they're a bit more difficult to get into. You don't want them too tight. Okay, I'll see you at the end of the first 10 rows. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys this. I'm now on finishing row 3, and you see this is my last double crochet, half double crochet, split half double crochet, and I have this border here. This is where one would normally stop. However, this looks very untidy like that, and the other danger with that is you might end up decreasing whilst you go along. So what I do is I go into here, into the edge here, and I basically form an edge by just doing a single crochet, chain 1, and turn round. That'll make here the edge all nice and neat, especially if you do want to make a border in the end, then you have something to crochet into. But that doesn't really count as a stitch. Your next stitch, half split double crochet, split half double crochet, will go into your first one here. So nothing new there, but you have made a nice and neat edge. I always find the beginning stitches very difficult because they wobble around a bit much and you have nothing really to pull against. There you go. So here we go, row 4. So now you know what to do at the end so that you have a nice neat end and you don't decrease by mistake. Right, now we have finished 10 rows. And as you see, and bear with me, because this doesn't look like what you think you're making, but it will be in the end. But what we essentially made here is a grid. Let me take my hook out. Right, you see that grid? And that is where the tartan bit will come in later. So bear with me, we're on track. So I'm just finishing off my camel color. Don't need that much. There we go. Secure. And now we're going to do 2 rows of white. So attach the white. Chain 1. Turn around. Oh yes, it's long and I know it'll take a while. Oops. No, that was maybe not so clever. Here we go. Oh. Right, and back to the same pattern. Half double crochet, half split double crochet into the stitch, chain 1, and you can, if you keep the end on top here, then you can weave in the end at the same time whilst you're going along. So half double crochet into the stitch, chain 1, half double crochet into the stitch, keep pulling that end so that it's on top, chain 1, and carry on for 2 rows. After the 2 rows of white, we'll go back to 10 rows of camel. So another 10 rows after the white, 2 rows of white, 10 rows of camel. So I have now finished my next 10 rows. I'm just sewing in the end, 10 rows of camel. Just so weaving in the ends here. There you go. And now we're going to do 6 black. So attach my black. Chain 1. Oh, sorry for that. And then chain 1 and the half split double crochet into all the following stitches. Oh, what's going on here? Why is this not? Here we go. There we go. Chain 1. Once again, I think I've got to change the camera. I don't think you can see. Lower it a bit. So once more, force it into the 2 legs. Half double crochet, chain 1. Half double crochet, chain 1, split half double crochet, chain 1, and we do 6 rows in black. See you at the end. Now I've finished my next 6 rows of black. The next step will be to do 2 rows in grey and then another 2 rows in black. So another 2 rows in grey, or 2 rows in grey and another 2 rows in black. And I will meet you after that. So just weaving in that end. Like that. Bring the whole project over here. Get out the grey. Find the end of it. Here we go. Here we go. That's the end. Join in the new colour. And same as before, join in the new colour. That's chain 1, half double crochet, split half double crochet into the split half double crochet before, chain 1, and off we go to the next one. Sometimes it takes a little bit of force to get in between. Split half double crochet into the next. 2 rows grey and 2 rows black, and I'll be back. So we have now done 6 rows in in black, 2 rows in grey, 2 rows in black. The next 3 colors sequences will be grey 2 rows, black 2 rows, and then grey 6 rows. So first off, connect the grey again, do 2 rows of grey, 2 rows of grey, 2 rows of black, and then 6 rows of grey. And I'll see you after the 6 rows of grey. So here I am, I'm back, and we are getting there. I am super excited. It's coming together nicely. I know I'm showing you the wrong side, but I always start off on the wrong side so that I can weave in the ends. So now you see we have done now the grey, black, grey section. Now we have to do the whole thing in reverse once more. I'll just move the camera slightly like that. So what we have to do now is this whole thing in reverse. So we're going to do next, we're going to do a black, then a grey, then a black, then a grey, and then the black. All right, so that's where we're at right now. And I will meet you once we have done the reverse. So once again, next comes black, 2, grey, 2, black, 2, grey, 2, black, 6. That will be the next section. So we add that onto here, and then we've got our next big section done. I'll be back with you. See you later. So now that we have finished this section, as in this grey and black section, we are now going to do the same as here. So that is camel 10, white 4, camel 10. So that will be added onto here next, and then we start a completely new section. So I'll meet you when we've done the next 10 camel, 4 white, 10 camel. And it's looking good. We're getting there. Hello, I'm back again. Let's just repeat what we have done. 10 camel, 4 white. I've made a mistake. 4 white, 10 camel, 6 black, 2 grey, 2 black, 2 grey, 2 black, 6 grey, 2 black, 2 grey, 2 black, 2 grey, 6 black, 10 camel, 4 white, 10 camel. So we have 3 sections at the moment. Section 1, Section 2, the black and grey area, Section 3. Now comes Section 4, the last to finish off the whole pattern in whole pattern. So that is, next we're going to do 6 black, 6 grey, 2 black, 2 grey, 2 black, 6 grey, 2 black. Okay, I'll repeat again. 6 black, 6 grey, 2 black, 2 grey, 2 black, 6 grey, 6 black. All right, so that'll be the ultimate and 4th section for 1 full pattern repeat. Okay, and as mine is going to be 2, because I've done 2 wide, I have to have a minimum of 2 high, otherwise it will look just silly. Okay, so see you later once I've done that lot. Bye. Hello, I'm back again. So now I have done my full repeat. Sorry, that's the dog again. I have done my full repeat of the Clan Lamont weathered look. I know it's stripes, and bear with me because we will be doing the tartan. I've not forgotten, and this is how you do it. But this is now, you choose how big or how small you want your blanket to be, because this is one repeat from bottom to top, and I'm going to be doing another repeat because I have 2 repeats this way. It's all folded up because it's way too big. 2 repeats that way, and I shall be doing 2 repeats that way. You can also, of course, make it slimmer by doing 1 repeat and more repeats up that way. I'm choosing to do 2 repeats, so I'll see you once I've done my 2 repeats of the whole from bottom to top. See you later. Bye. Hello, I am back again, and here we go. I finished the 2 repeats of the whole blanket, and now we're going to, as you see, I have already started doing the tartan part. So what I have done is you have to turn the blanket horizontally, and then you take the first colour, which is in your pattern, which is the beige, the camel, not beige, the camel here. And instead of doing 10 rows as you did, you do 5. And then instead of 4, you do 2, 5. Instead of 6, you do 3, 1, 1, 1, and so on. So you basically do half of what you did before. And I will show you how one does this now. I'm going to have to do this in standing, because this is the only way I can do this in big and show you how to do it. So you have to do every row, you have to do single. I do this normally in sitting, but to video this, I'm going to have to show you this in standing. So what I'm working on is this collection here. Let me just move the camera so that you can see this better. So what I'm working on is this here. So you have originally 6, 1, 6, 2, 2, 2, 2, 6, 2, 2, 2, 2, 6. Right, so I've already done here my 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1. Now comes my black 1 again. So I'm going to have to move this, and I'm going to move the camera. Sorry if it's a bit bumpy. Position the camera. I hope that's will be close enough. Maybe I'll position it like this so that you can see better, like that. And there you go. Right. So so you see what you do is you have here, you have your normal row, and in between you've got these like grids, and that's where you attach your yarn to. So you choose one side to attach it, but it's got to be the right side, not the wrong side. You attach your yarn. I do it like this, and then I pull out the tail part like that, weave that in later, and now what we're going to do is we're going to chain across. To make it easy on the holding, I hold my grid row like that. And now you don't want to chain too tight. So what I do is I have a technique, I pull it up like that. Okay, did you see that? Do it again. So into every grid you pull your chain through. So you basically slip stitching. You're basically slip stitching. I'm going to move the camera again to a different angle, hoping that you'll see it better. Tilt it a bit, zoom in. Okay. So I hold my chain row, pull that through, and here I chain. That one was a bit loose, so go back again, pull it down a bit. This takes a little bit of practice, but you do get into sort of a rhythm. So you're basically slip stitching all the way up the grid in that color. You don't want it too tight because you want to leave enough stretch, you see, so the blanket still stretches. So I found this the easiest method to do it. Obviously, you're free to do it the way that you can do it best. So for me, this was the easiest way. And I'm not really pulling tight onto the thread or the yarn. I'm just holding it. Change the angle again. Bring it maybe in a bit closer. Hope you can see that. No, because my hand's in front. Try again from the back. Okay. Oops, got a camera issue here. There we go. There we go. Okay, here we go again. I'm sorry if that made you a bit dizzy. This is a bit uncomfortable for me because I'm leaning over the table really. As I said, I do this in sitting position. In your lap it's way easier. It is a lot easier in your lap than doing this in standing position. Change camera angle again. Let's bring this, let's just pause this for a second. Okay, let's try this again. Now I'm standing behind the camera. Okay, so I'm holding here the grid. And I'm slip stitching all the way. Oops, I lost my loop. Here we go. Black and black. You can't see it that well. There we go. My yarn's playing up a bit as well. Move you to this angle again. Okay, let's try once more the other angle. Right, let's hope I'm in the picture. And I chose the dark colour, which wasn't very clever. When I get to a white bit, I will show you the white bit again. I don't know if I'm holding my hand so you can actually see or not see. So let's just try it like that. Right, so you do that all the way up, then you cut it off at the other end, and then you start your next one. I'll see you on a white bit, then you can maybe see it a bit more clear. So let's try it from here. So here we go. Okay, I've got my grid here. Here's my grid. I'll open this out once more to show. See, here's my row, and here's the grid. Oh, sorry. Here's the row, and here's the grid, and this is where I'm slip stitching into. So I take the grid into my hand, like that. And this is just to guide the yarn, really. I'm not got any tension on it per se. And go up, slip stitching through the grid like that. Oops. It's all a bit awkward, this position for me. Yeah, I'm sitting though. I hope you can see. Now we're back into the black, which is not ideal. Most probably I should wear a helmet and clip the camera onto a helmet or something. I have no idea how you guys do this. So I'm coming into the grey. Maybe you'll see more. Let's try to come in even a bit closer, like that. Sorry, I've got the dishwasher on as well. Oh, I missed the grid now. I think, yes. There you go. This is super long, as you can see. I'm not quite sure how to fold this so that you can see better. Dig my elbow in down the side so I can get the angle right for you. And this comes out of the middle of the ball, but it still gives me sometimes grief. There you go. Well, that's what happens. It still sometimes gives you grief. Coming now to a lighter bit, hoping you can see. You do that all the way to the end of the row. There's still a lot of super stretch in there, and there will be a few bumps, but they will go out once you've blocked or steamed or washed the blanket. I don't know whether I'm going to steam this. I most probably just will wash it when it's necessary. I have thought about maybe just slip stitching along the top instead of breaking the yarn off and weaving it in, but it looked very untidy in the end, untidier than it does with just finishing it off at the top. But that is your choice, obviously, how you want to do it. There you go. So let me just zoom in on this little bit here. Let's see, I'll stick this in here, and I'm taking the camera by hand. And I apologize. So I just want to zoom this in like that. So there you see. Turning round, sorry, I'm making it dizzy. This tripod is really no good because it's only got two settings. It's either very tall or medium tall. So zooming in here again, here you see you have your row of slip stitch and your row of half double crochet, and this is your, and this here again is the row of slip stitch. See? There. So I hope you understand. I just want to show you the grid that I meant again. Okay, so see, this is the grid here. If you pull this apart, you've got your half double crochets here. Not, yeah, yes, the half, no, the slips, the double crochets from before. And then you have this grid here, and that's what I'm slip stitching. And then you've got your grid here. That's what I'm slip stitching into. So this is the rows you made before, and you've turned it horizontally, and now you're slip stitching into this grid here. I hope I've explained myself there. Okay, let's try again. I've got the super inventive way of now balancing my camera on my belly and part of the blanket. So I hope you can see this now. So, and I'm on a lighter contrast bit so you can see it better. So you see, I've actually got no tension on the yarn. All I'm doing is I'm guiding it basically. Right? So there you go. There. I hope my breathing is not wriggling the camera too much. So as I said, I'm balancing it on partially on my chest with the blanket. Right. It's just I don't know what you can see, but you might be even able to see my little Chalky, my co-host next to me, sitting on the other crochet blanket I made years ago. So, I see my hand's in the way for this, isn't it? So I'm going to have to lift this up a little bit. Yeah. The other way was definitely better, but I haven't got enough blanket to support it. So I'm coming up to the end. I most probably will have to change this angle. That doesn't work either. Right, let's try again. Okay, you see here, this is the end. This is the end of the blanket. Right, so I'm going to be coming up to the end. Once again, I'm balancing this now on my chest. So I'm hoping it's not too wobbly. This is the best angle I can come up with at the moment. We've had the most horrendous rain over the last couple of days. As in horrendous as in non-stop, not so much so heavy, but just plain non-stop, all through the night, all through the day. And the temperatures have dropped immensely. Now I've got again a yarn malfunction. Just what I need at the end, and when I'm recording, that's the way it always goes. So you see, I'm only human as well. This happens to us as well. Right, coming up to the end. And that dog barking is not mine, it's next door's. And that poor dog that gets left alone from 6 o'clock in the morning till about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. It's all day in either garage, at least it's dry, or garden. Right, coming up to the end. Second to last grid, last grid. So there you go, see the last grid? I pull that through, and I take my scissors, oopsie, try to do this without too much wobbling, cut my yarn off, pull that through, tighten it up, and then I'll sew that in at the back. And I just wanted to show you this, weave it in at the end, weave the ends in. So you see it does look a bit messy at the moment, but I won't cut these off until I've either washed it or I'm sure that it won't pull out any further. So that's how you do it. Then I start at the other end again. So you don't just turn round here. I did try, as I mentioned before, I did try to do a slip stitch across here and then go down the other side. But that made the top rim look so horrible and untidy that it was not worth it. But it's your choice how you want to do it. If you don't want to weave in any ends, then that's the way to do it. If you don't mind, and I don't mind, I normally do them straight away, I just can't get to my needle right now, sat with the camera here on my chest, then do as I do, start every row single. So my next color is now the gray. That was my scissors, sorry for that. So back to the beginning. And I know this might look a bit weird because I'm still balancing the camera on my chest, so sorry for that, guys, and the angle is a bit off. I pull my t-shirt down. Okay, so here's the other beginning from the row before. So now I take my grey. Here's my grey. So we've got the grey, black, black, grey, black, grey, big grey, small black, small grey, small black, last grey one, and then 3 rows of black. So the last grey on this side. Just want to show you the join again, in case you didn't get that before. So I'm at the beginning here again. Join it in there. Pull both through, like that. Pull the short end out. Stick my needle back in. I find this is the easiest way of doing it, in a secure way. Tug a bit more on here, there you go. And then back to this. There's my little grid. Just follow it all the way up. And you do get into a rhythm of this, I promise you. In the beginning it took me about 2 rows to get into a rhythm that suited me, and a way how to hold my yarn and my needle, as in hook, not needle, and how to get the tension the way that I wanted it. You can do it a little tighter than I am, but I want to have maximum stretch in my blanket. So that's why I've done it like that. Can you see that? Because all the little bits of lumps and bumps, they'll come out once you've used the blanket and once it's been washed and or steam blocked. I don't think it's a good idea to wet block this yarn that I've got, because it is already super heavy as it is and it will keep a lot of water, so it'll take forever to dry, unless you've got a huge meadow or something that you can put it onto a sheet, because hanging it up will make it go all out of shape. That's not a good idea. I normally hang my things up like socks and shawls and things like that. But this blanket, no, I don't think that would work. So it's either steam blocking it on a bed if you've got a super king size bed or a bed big enough, or just wash it. And this one you can actually put in the spin dry, tumble dryer, however on very low heat. That's why I chose this yarn, because this sort of size of project I don't want to be hand washing and then drying for days. So that's why I chose this, and it's antibacterial, because this is then going to go either onto my bed or it's going to go over a chair or a sofa. And with dogs in the household, everyone knows that even though you keep them as clean as you can, there'll always be bits and bobs. Mine, thank goodness, don't shed. Yeah, but they bring grass in and they bring all bits and bobs in, and you do want to wash this a lot. Or I will want to wash this a lot. So it needs to be very functional. So enough of my ramblings. I hope you can see whilst I've been rambling on what I'm doing. And so that is the mystery solved, and I'll meet up with you at the very end to show off the full tartan. And I will have to do that up in the bedroom, because there's nowhere, not even in the living room here, enough space on the floor, even with a sheet on it, that I can show you. So I'll have to show it on the super king size bed, because this is very big. I could have chosen to make it longer, but I didn't want to make it too long either, because it just will get too heavy, and also washing will make it more difficult. So I left my options open on whether I'm going to only do double repeat and then be able just to put it over a chair. If I think I would need another length, I would rather make another one, the size I would like, and then crochet them together. If I still think I need to. Oops, I'm out of picture now, aren't I? There you go. Alright, then I'll see you later at the end. Bye bye.